Well, not often there's a 100-year celebration down at Collingwood.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about your special guest this morning.
Yeah, Lottie turns 100 on Sunday, so we wanted to celebrate the incredible support that she's given us since 1925. Unbelievable, huh? And she's got so much life left in her, and incredible to see that energy, and we fed off it, yeah.
And she knew all the players. She didn't miss a beat, did she?
Yeah, no, she said she loved me, which was nice. No, it's really cool to celebrate, her birthday, but also, what our fans mean to us. We want to bring our fans along for the ride, and 112,000 members is remarkable, and to have one that's been supporting us since 1925 is just incredible.
Birthday Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday birthday.
So you've got to give her an early present Friday night.
Absolutely, yep. We'll have our... There we go. Yeah. Okay, we can keep it down now, we're good.
Well, not a newsline you'd probably like to be attached to this week with your opponents last week. How is the group, and how do you avoid the noise of what's happened?
In which regard?
In the rank and stuff.
Oh yeah, we're process driven in terms of what we can control. There's a process in place that AFL have obviously got involved in that, and I think as an industry we've been slow to the party, but we just don't want to accept these behaviours in our workplace. I think no one wants that in their workplace, and the AFL industry is no different.
Your player, okay?
Yeah, I think so. We had a good chat over the weekend, and then again Monday morning just to check in, and it's about making sure our players are safe. But also I don't want to demonise Isaac either. Everyone's allowed to make mistakes. The young lad seems like a really respectful young man, and he's made an error. So the AFL will take their own course on that, but you're allowed to make mistakes too. So we respect that.
There's been talk about provocation in terms of a submission and that. Is there no provocation for something like that, do you think?
I don't want to have he said, she said stuff. I think the reality is, and we're all really comfortable with what we want our workplace to look like, and these things step over the boundary line.
No Bobby Hill at training.
No, I had dinner with Bobby last night. As I continue to say, it's a week by week, day by day thing with Bobby. It was just nice to catch up with him on a social level, just to check in, care for him. There's two things that I always live by. There's high performance and there's love and care. And I've just sort of left the high performance for now and just making sure the young lad's okay. Time's running out in the season, and maybe the high performance might be a bit far at the moment, but we'll just take that off the table for now, and hopefully he can get back in the club and then be happy, and then we'll see where we go from there.
So you're not sure at the moment if he will play again this season?
I said to him, how do you want me to answer that? And he goes, please just leave a little bit of hope there for me, but he's well aware that that his time's running out and getting enough load and then to be available. So, and then I step straight back into love and care and say, mate, let's just get you right day by day, huh?
How important is it? Sorry.
Mason Cox? Yeah, Mason's name is certainly his magnets there in match committee to decide whether we choose to play him this week. Our connection inside 50 has been a little bit off. Lots of numbers back inside our forward 50 in multiple weeks now. It looks like the opposition are enjoying camping back there, which makes it hard to score, but we've got to get better at that, the methods around that. He'll be discussed.
Just back on Bobby, just the last one on that was the care and support the players are putting around him and that as well. Is that really important going forward? That's more important than playing right now?
I think so, in terms of the approach to it. It's private, it's personal. I'm sure you've probably done your own research and reading and digging to find out, but at the end of the day, the young lad's got a lot on his plate, and so I go to care and make sure he's okay, and then I don't have answers, but I do have a heart that's open to listen, and again, we day by day we hope he gets better.
How's Jeremy Howe tracking?
Fit and ready to go. Yep, how we'll play.
That's a bonus from the back perspective.
Yeah.
Having a bloke like that coming straight back in.
Yeah, we showed last week that it wasn't about one person, and I stood here last week saying, we've got work to do on our defence, but it wasn't one person, and our system looked really strong again. It was hard to score against. It kept an opposition to 37 inside 50s while we had 70. But how we come back and his experience is important to us, and I think he'll play a system really well.
Can you talk about sort of a safe workplace and what you want it to look like? Have you had to cover off anything with Dan Houston at all about, if Isaac was reminded about the sort of concussion incident? Is that a relevant factor?
Again, I'm not going to go into what is rumoured to have happened. I'll leave it with the AFL's hands around what's the punishment, if you like, for want of a better term, for just stepping over the boundary line.
What you might want it to look like then, like independent of your place, just as an industry, what you how you'd like this handled?
No, I just don't think there's a place for it. I think any workplace, I'm sure in your workplace and wherever you go, we're creating a level of finally getting a standard where people can be safe to be who they are. And you know, I have high values and high morals, but I make mistakes too. But you know, there's a workplace we want to have safe and be able to just work within. Yeah.
How's Dan McStay going at the moment?
Yeah, we're working hard at Dan to get him moving and be part of our best team, and a lot of work behind the scenes to work on his craft, you know, jumping the ball well and, you know, fit into our patterns. It's an important part of our team. We need him at his best.
He'll play this week for sure.
Well, we'll get a way up. It's a very, very pointed question. There'll be a decision made whether we play Mason or Dan potentially. Yeah, we'll wait and see how that plays out.
Your opponent this week. Last time you played him, pretty topical tag. How do you get the best of it this time?
Yeah, I remember last time I wasn't happy how we looked after Nick, and you know, the AFL world, you know, put a light and a spotlight on that, and we went to work on what that looked like. Hasn't been tagged for a few weeks, Nick, but we're well aware of what was and what could be.
Just in terms of like the way teams are playing against you, have you noticed that the last 5-6 weeks there's been a shift in terms of the way teams are playing you? Flying?
Yeah.
How can you combat that?
Yeah, there is. There's a trend. There's a pattern of a lot of numbers back. You know, there's a pattern of us not connecting inside 50. Yeah, there's a pattern of, you know, certain other things I won't say out loud, but there's little patterns. But also there's a trend of us taking things away from ourselves. And you know, last week was a good step forward. You know, we had a really poor performance, which we stood in and accepted wasn't good enough for our fans or for us, and we turned some things around. There's an energy inside the building that we took a big shift forward last week. Although the 4 points didn't come with us, our pressure was back, and our fight was back, and our system was there to be seen.
Is that a bit similar, like 2023? I know they're completely different years, different systems and the like, but you had a couple of down periods in that time leading into the finals. Does that give you great confidence going into
There's all different layers, lessons learnt potentially. I do remember that time we didn't have, in 23, didn't have Darcy Moore, Nick Dacos, Bobby Hill and Geordie DeGoey for a fair bit. I thought, we'll be okay. This is a bit different. This is a bit more of, you know, system breakdown and little connection things, and opposition really targeting a few things. So we've got work to do. We're not naive to that, but again, I think we've taken a step forward to where we want to be.
Are you wary that Melbourne, they're going to be really desperate to finish their season strong, even though
Yeah.
finals out of the question?
Well, that's good because we're both ready to finish our season strong. And no, we expect their best. And you know, we played them King's birthday. They played an outstanding brand of footy. I thought they were really tough at the ball. Took a couple of things away from us, which hopefully we've learnt some good lessons around. And yeah, we expect their best. Yeah.
On that Dacos tag, there's been a lot of changes, obviously, in Melbourne since that King's birthday game. Do you expect they'll go there again, or is it hard to tell with the changes?
Well, we anticipate yes, but then there's the reality. You've got to be ready for whatever, and so we'll have plans in place if it's happening, and then we'll try to exploit it if it's not, which we do most weeks.